Are you tired of the endless cycle of mediocrity, the frustrating limbo where your team is neither truly great nor truly terrible just there? Because right now, for the Chicago Bulls, a franchise with a storied past but a decidedly unremarkable present, that's the agonizing reality. They've become the NBA's poster child for good enough to be boring, seemingly content to hover in the middle, lacking the motivation to either ascend to contention or fully embrace a rebuild. But what if a seismic league-shaking trade, a blockbuster deal for a polarizing All-NBA guard, could finally shatter that stagnation? What if the Bulls were to make a move so audacious, so unexpected, that it would force them to choose a direction once and for all? The question isn't just if they would pull the trigger, but whether bringing Atlanta Hawks superstar Trae Young to the Windy City would propel them forward into a new era of excitement or drag them backward into an even deeper quagmire of defensive despair. Trae Young is, without a doubt, one of the NBA's most divisive figures. Depending on who you ask, he's either a long-range sniper with unparalleled playmaking vision, capable of orchestrating an offense with dazzling flair, or he's a defensively challenged, undersized shot chucker whose style of play is detrimental to team success. He's fiercely competitive, a relentless warrior who thrives under pressure, or he's obnoxiously brash, a showman whose antics sometimes overshadow his undeniable talent. The opinions are as varied as they are passionate. But here's what's undeniable, what even his staunchest critics cannot dispute. Trae Young is an elite offensive player. Period. He possesses a rare combination of scoring prowess and passing genius that would instantly make any team in the NBA more dangerous on that end of the floor. And yes, that absolutely includes the Chicago Bulls, a team that, despite flashes of offensive brilliance, often struggles with consistent creation and dynamic playmaking. The idea of injecting Young's offensive firepower into their lineup is, on paper, incredibly tantalizing. The concept of a Young-to-Bulls trade isn't just idle speculation. It's a concrete proposal put forth by Eric Pincus of Bleacher Report, who outlined 5 potential deals if the Atlanta Hawks decide to move on from their franchise point guard this season. The one involving Chicago is nothing short of a jaw-dropper. Chicago Bulls receive G. Trae Young F. Mahamed Gay Atlanta Hawks receive G. Coby White G. Jevon Carter F. Kevin Huerter first-round pick. This isn't just a swap of players, it's a philosophical shift for both franchises. For the Hawks, Young's future has been a constant topic of discussion since last season. After leading Atlanta to a surprising Eastern Conference Finals appearance in 2021, the team has failed to get out of the first round since, missing the playoffs entirely in each of the past 2 seasons. The narrative in Atlanta is clearly shifting, with promising young talents like Jalen Johnson, the 2024-25 Most Improved Player, All-Defensive Team selection Dyson Daniels, and former number 1 overall pick Zachary Risacher, forming the beginnings of a new, more defensively oriented core. A diminutive ball-dominant guard like Young simply doesn't seem to have a long-term place in their evolving vision. Add in his hefty $46 million salary this season and a max extension looming on the horizon, and it becomes easy to see why the Hawks would be motivated to move on, to retool around their new, exciting core. From Atlanta's perspective, turning Young into a cheaper, albeit far less productive, guard like Coby White, a player who would help run a more egalitarian offense, seems like a perfectly viable alternative plan. White, while not Young's equal in star power, offers a different offensive dynamic, one that might better suit the Hawks' new direction. Add in a future first-round pick and more than $20 million in expiring salaries in Kevin Huerter and Jevon Carter, and the Hawks would be set up for an intriguing future, gaining financial flexibility and valuable draft capital to continue building around their young core. It's a clear pivot, a definitive step towards a new identity. Now, let's grade this proposed trade from the Bulls' perspective, because this is where the true intrigue and the most significant questions arise. The outcome of this deal for Chicago starts and ends with the elephants in the room. How would Trae Young fit next to another ball-dominant guard in Josh Giddey? And perhaps even more critically, how would Chicago ever hope to build an even league-average defense with those two sharing the backcourt? With Coby White sidelined by injury to start this season, we've already seen a glimpse of what Giddey can do with another floor general next to him in Tre Jones. The returns have been outstanding. Chicago hasn't missed a beat without White, and arguably has produced a better offense with more ball movement, a more fluid and less predictable attack. Young, for all his perceived flaws, is one of the best passers and playmakers in the NBA. He would fit snugly into that plan, providing an elite offensive engine that could elevate the Bulls' attack to new heights. If the Bulls are hesitant to offer Coby White a new deal worth $30 million or more annually, using their massive amount of cap space to absorb Young's contract and upgrade that spot would be a financially savvy move. For all of Giddey's strengths, he's not quite good enough to be the primary ball handler on a championship-caliber team. Adding Young and shifting Giddey to a secondary, complementary role makes a lot of sense, allowing Giddey to leverage his size and passing without the pressure of being the lead initiator. The outgoing pieces for the Bulls, Huerter and Carter, wouldn't significantly impact their long-term plans. Huerter has been a solid contributor, but not indispensable, and Carter provides veteran depth. Parting with a first-round pick could be a concern, but if the Portland Trail Blazers make the playoffs this year, the Bulls would have a spare to give up, mitigating the loss. And if this trade ever does come to fruition, presumably Chicago would be picking in the 20s, meaning they wouldn't be sacrificing a high-value lottery pick. However, the defensive concerns are legitimate, and they are the biggest asterisk attached to this entire proposal. A backcourt of Young and Giddey would be, to put it mildly, a defensive liability. Both players have known struggles on that end of the floor, and building an even league-average defense around them would require Herculean efforts from the rest of the roster. This is where the Bulls' coaching staff, led by Billy Donovan, would face their ultimate challenge. Yet, despite these defensive questions, the potential upside is undeniable. A core of Giddey, Mattis Buzelis, a highly touted prospect, and Trae Young, with a potentially elite defender like Noah Essing, another promising young talent, in the fold, would give the Bulls roster a significantly higher ceiling. This isn't just about making the playoffs. It's about building a team that could genuinely compete for a championship in the future. And crucially, it wouldn't come at an exorbitant cost in terms of draft capital, allowing the Bulls to retain flexibility for future moves. This trade proposal forces the Bulls to confront their identity. Are they content to remain in the middle? Or are they willing to take a calculated risk for a chance at true contention? Trae Young, for all his polarizing qualities, is a proven offensive superstar. He would inject a level of excitement and offensive dynamism that the Bulls desperately need. The defensive challenges are real, but with the right coaching and complementary pieces, they are not insurmountable. This deal represents a clear direction, a definitive step towards building a team with a higher ceiling, a team that could finally break free from the shackles of mediocrity. It's a gamble, yes, but for a franchise that has been stuck in neutral for far too long, perhaps a bold gamble is precisely what's needed to reignite the passion and bring championship basketball back to Chicago. What's your take on this shocking trade proposal? Would you be willing to take the defensive risk for Trae Young's offensive brilliance, or do you think the Bulls should steer clear? Let us know your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. And if you're as eager as we are to see the Bulls finally make a decisive move, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for all the latest breaking news and in-depth analysis on your Chicago Bulls.